So do you personally know any MAGAs? I'm sure you do. And I bet they call themselves conservatives, right? Well, they're not. They're frauds. There's nothing about them that is conservative. That is yet another word that they have destroyed and rendered meaningless. The word conservative is now just synonymous with Republican, or as they would define it, anything having to do with Trump. If Trump says it, it's conservative. Trump does it, it's conservative. Almost nothing that this man does or says is conservative. And these fucking MAGAs who have defended every single thing that this fascist piece of shit has done. And by the way, that's what it is. This is fascism, not conservatism. But every damn one of these people who has defended everything that Donald Trump has done, they're not conservative, they're fascist. They're too stupid to realize it, but they are. They've bought into this idea that anything Republican is conservative. I'm so sick of that. You know, and I hope people wake the fuck up and realize we are so beyond these labels. They don't have any meaning anymore. They don't apply to what's going on in this country anymore. So anyone who opposes Donald Trump is a leftist, right? That's how it works now, right? Well, that's insane. That's nonsense. But there's nothing conservative about these people. Today is Thursday morning as I'm talking to you here. We just found out last night that ABC canceled or indefinitely suspended Jimmy Kimmel's show. Why? Because corporate America has now become the fascist foot soldiers of a fascist authoritarian regime. Because the dictator doesn't like Jimmy Kimmel and doesn't want him on the air. And one of his thugs, Brendan Carr, the FCC chair, on a freaking podcast, essentially threatened ABC and all local ABC affiliates that they need to get rid of Jimmy Kimmel. And so they did. For a couple of reasons. One, they don't want to get crossways with the fascist dictator. And two, yet again, they have a merger deal that they want to go through that needs approval by the fascist dictator and his regime. So anyways, that happens. This is fascism, pure and simple. This is not conservatism, this is fascism. Using the power of government and threats of government action against private companies to force them to censor speech that the dictator doesn't like. And all of these fucking self-described conservatives are cheering. Not that long ago, they were telling us that they were free speech absolutists, right? Now they are cheering the government suppression of speech, and that's what it is, just because it was a private company. Look, if this was just ABC deciding on their own for whatever business reason they decided to fire Jimmy Kimmel, then fine. Even if it's because they didn't like what he said. Even if ABC said, you know what, we don't like Jimmy Kimmel's politics and we don't want it on air anymore, we're firing him. Fine, I'd have no problem with it. But that's not what happened here. This wasn't a private company making private business decisions or editorial decisions. This was a company doing the bidding of a fascist regime. That's what it is. And these fucking MAGAs, these phony conservatives, are cheering it. They are too stupid to understand what they're unleashing on this country. Not that Democrats would do this, I'm sure. But if Democrats win in 2028, they could just as easily do the same thing to Fox News. Threaten their license. Maybe label Fox News a terrorist organization. Maybe do that. You know, maybe pull their license for all the disinformation and lies and propaganda they spread. I mean, there was nothing factually inaccurate about anything Jimmy Kimmel even said. But he's a friggin' comedian. Anyway, not the point. But if we're going to talk about lies and disinformation, Fox News pushed the lies endlessly that the 2020 election was stolen, that there was a massive criminal conspiracy that stole the election from Donald Trump. The lies of Fox News helped lead to the attempted violent overthrow of the Republic by Donald Trump. You want to talk about a danger to the Republic? These fucking liars at Fox News and the propaganda and the lies that they push on a daily basis. That's a threat to the Republic. But you know what? They have a right to say it. But hey, if we're not going to live in a constitutional republic anymore, and if this is the new precedent, if this is how government now operates, that whoever is president gets to silence the speech of people they don't like, well then if a Democrat comes in power, then I guess he can pull the plug on Fox News, right? We don't want to live in that world. This is not the country we want to live in. But these fucking MAGAs who pretend to be conservatives are cheering this fascism. They're too stupid to realize that one day they too are going to suffer. We're all going to suffer if this country, if Donald Trump is successful in destroying what remains of the Constitution and turning this country from a constitutional republic into an authoritarian fascist police state, because that's what he's trying to do. And these fucking phony conservatives are cheering him on. Anyway, thanks for watching.